It's sad what you're saying to me, and I don't want to come here and discuss Zimbabwean politics, but I will touch on this because I wanted to speak about South Africa. You're speaking about Hopewell and Fadzai and Nelson, and you're saying you don't think they have Zimbabwe's interest as their primary because they wouldn't be pushing this narrative that they're pushing. But one of the things that's disturbed me that you've said in the past is you seem to somewhat be pro-ANC and pro-Cyril. And they sound like the guys you're speaking about because they work with the West. They work with the Americas and the like. And if you look at the agendas they seem to push, of which when they are incompetent, it's the same story, corruption, black leadership, but they still work with these same guys. Do you still support the ANC and Cyril, especially because it's an election year? If you had to suggest to South Africans that, look, this is the party you should vote for, you still say we must vote ANC?
I've always said that we must vote ANC because there is no alternative. If we want black people to continue to retain power in South Africa, and if we want a political party that is most likely to change black people's lives and has changed black people's lives, I actually believe and still maintain that it is the ANC. And the reason I say that is that currently they continue to hold the biggest black mandate in the country of any other political party. EFF is not yet close to holding the black mandate of the black people of South Africa. They do hold a lot of young people's mandate. They do hold a lot of young people's aspirations, but not all black people. We still got moderates. We still got people who are in the middle. We still got people that are on the total left and total right who support ANC and they're black. They believe that the ANC is a moderate political party that will be able to deliver their aspirations. With the EFF, it's too left. But with the EFF, we've also seen them compromise and holding hands with the right, the DA, a racist political party. The EFF has voted with the DA, given them power in certain metropolitans. And you ask yourself, can they really carry a leftist mandate if they're going to be giving power to the right so that the right can run municipalities, can ingrain its power in those municipalities, and ultimately at the end of the day, make their own electorate, which is a left-leaning electorate, believe that it's okay to vote for a right-leaning racist political party that actually represents the apartheid era. And that's what makes me feel that at least the ANC has not pretended like it can be friends with a right-wing DA.
But that's not true. You know, Cyril's ANC is favored by the DA. John Steenhuisen has said they would comfortably go into coalition with the ANC. And Cyril has never said anything bad. He's never upset the DA, which you're accusing of being racist, similar to like a Jacob Zuma, where the country was shut down and there was marching. Are you going to say Julius Malema's EFF, of which, yes, they voted with the DA in certain matters, is more compromised than a Cyril's ANC when it comes to partnering with the DA?
Absolutely, because the ANC, even though they had 48% in certain areas and could have chosen to go into a coalition with the DA, they never did that in any municipality.
Isn't that arrogance more than anything? Maybe the ability to get a smaller party, because I just need 1 or 2%. I don't need these guys with maybe 10, 15, because they're going to want more of a compromise. Well, the small party, maybe they just want one guy to be a face, or we can still bully them. These white guys are going to use this to try and throttle us. To me, the DA had less votes than the ANC, so they would never really be able to have as much power to tell the ANC what to do. And I think they could have reached a compromise with the DA if that's what people say the ANC wanted. Sure.
But the reason they didn't go with the DA is they are clearly articulating that they've got very opposed or diametrically opposed objectives and ideologies that they don't feel that they can work together. They would have worked together all along. Sure. They would have had a very powerful government in the terms that they would be able to take their 35% and their 40%, put them together. It would give them quite an overwhelming majority, but they didn't. And I believe that the reason they didn't is because they feel that they are ideologically opposed, number one. Number two, the ANC's compromise has not been with a political ideology per se, much more than it has been about aligning with those who control the economy. And I believe that this comes all the way back from CODESA. There were certain promises made at CODESA by the business community to the ANC. Yeah. Do not destabilize the boat. Do not take our factors of production. Do not take the economy from us, and we will deliver in certain ways. We'll create jobs. We'll pay taxes. We will sponsor you politically to make sure that the ANC can always campaign to be in power. But I believe that the business community of South Africa has shown its duplicitousness. The white business community has illustrated that it never really wanted to be in bed with the ANC. It wanted to make black people comfortable. Within that period, it started pushing a neoliberal agenda, and they now feel that they've created circumstances or conditions enough where there's enough educated black people who will be comfortable voting for a white political party. And now that very same business community is reneging on its promise to the ANC, sabotaging the economy, sabotaging the very same companies that they asked the ANC to keep in their hands, sabotaging companies like Eskom, where they continue to get the majority of the contracts and deals. They are sabotaging them in order for the ANC to look bad so that people can begin to vote for a white party. And they're expecting black middle class, black executives, and black educated people to start voting for the DA. For me, this is a watershed moment because the ANC are beginning to realize that they never loved us. They never cared about a black political party being in power, but they actually always wanted to take back power and bring it back to white South Africans legally and democratically so that apartheid can continue politically, legally. And I think the ANC is now well aware of this. And even though they've got this class of people that have got resources and money, they now realize that they cannot work with these people. And
Cyril is a beneficiary of some of the things you're speaking about, and he's not the only one. There are many ANC leaders, because you spoke about the promises they made, of which sponsoring, creating jobs, etc., etc. Part of it was BEE agreements, and you're expecting myself. The ANC makes me angry. I don't want to vote for them, and there's a lot of us. And I happen to be one of those, I guess, educated young black people who are meant to carry on with the ANC's mandate to liberate specifically the majority. And now, yes, we are being wooed. It's correct. We're being wooed to look into potential DA. It looks like they govern better any other party. And you're telling us the ANC is realizing this. But if Abo Cyril and all the other ANC beneficiaries, of which Trevor Manuel is another one, and he says he's left the ANC after benefiting and enjoying, they are not willing to give back. They will tell us, keep voting for us. But Abo Cyril are not going to let go of the things that they're benefiting from, the business community. And it's worse because from what I've read in the past year or two, they want to finish BEE. They want to remove it as a requirement for doing business with the government. The same Shanduga, maybe Pembani, maybe African Rainbow Minerals, I don't know what Saki Matozoma's company is, Safiga, all of them now that they've enjoyed and they're comfortable, want to remove those things. So it becomes difficult if they were saying this to me, if Cyril was saying this to me, or someone else, Paul Mashatile, to tell me this, and I'm like, we're not where you are, and when are you not even willing to give away what you're enjoying from the same people you're saying are problematic?
I think we need to define who is the beneficiary here. So if we accept that everything that is in South Africa belongs to black South Africans and belonged to black South Africans from time immemorial, and if we accept that apartheid was a crime against humanity, and if we accept that any proceeds that came out of apartheid were unjust enrichment, and therefore the people who have them are not entitled to have them, this means that the black South Africans and the black South African leadership, the ANC, had an opportunity to dismantle the entire system by taking all factors of production from the people that currently hold them, which is the white South Africans, the criminals that stole, that benefited from, and that continue to be inheritors of a crime against humanity. The ANC could have taken those. They could have liquidated the companies. They could have nationalized the companies and taken everything that they have, but they didn't. So to me, the beneficiaries are actually the white South Africans that continue to get rich, that continue to get jobs in an economy that their ancestors stole, and they became beneficiaries and inheritors of unjust enrichment.
I agree.
The ANC decided not to do that.
I agree with you.
So they are the beneficiaries.
Sure.
So therefore, when a Cyril was told that you are a beneficiary, he could have a different perspective. But remember, they'll tell you that we decided to let these people keep what they have so that we try and have a semblance of the South Africa of old continuing now and benefiting the South Africans that it disadvantaged previously. That is the dream. That is the ideal idea. Mugabe believed in the same thing for 20 years until he realized that white Rhodesians had no intention to actually meet up any of their promises, but instead, after 20 years, they wanted to remove him by sabotaging the economy so that they can now retake the economy or put puppets that were going to run the economy in a manner that favors whiteness. That's what's happening in South Africa.
Yeah.
And I think the lesson has been learned in the ANC.
I don't think the lesson has been learned. Abu Cyril are not saying what you're saying. You're speaking on his behalf. He's never said this. They're not willing to let go of those things or to renegotiate. And I would not listen to him asking me to vote ANC when he's not shifting or apologizing or acknowledging. Guys, BEE failed. The bulk of BEE monies landed back in white hands. To be honest, myself, my brother-in-law Patrice, Julius was right. We're actually not as wealthy as you guys think. A lot of our money is paper money. If we upset the white establishment, tomorrow we'll be poor like you. So we need to keep putting in work to actually make this wealth tangible for ourselves and for you guys as well. But he's not saying this, and I refuse to assume the best of him, considering so many other factors around the man himself. And that is not good enough for me to vote for an ANC until they say such things where I'm like, okay, and then show the remorse and tell me what is the plan? Because currently there isn't. Cyril is still taking loans from the West. There's still pala issues. His bank statements are still sealed. And then I must go vote for that. Not him. I apologize for only using him. The entire ANC, Ombalula, Opegicele, you look at the work they've done, the destruction of Eskom, which, like I said, I agree with you. I believe there are certain non-ANC and non-black factors that prefer a destroyed economy, destroyed state-owned enterprise, so that we look and say, as the clever new blacks, look at what this black government's doing. Brew, I'm going with the DA. I mean, brew, they're destroying Eskom, load shedding. That's obviously what they want. But these guys are not coming out to say, guys, it's not us. This is what we're doing. It is these guys. And until they do that, I'm like, you're complicit. Because you're the security guard for Mlungu's things, you must tell me, look, I think Mlungu's stealing his own things. I think Mlungu is killing his own rhinos and pretending that we are the ones poaching the rhinos. We're not. I'm here with you. And I'm like, but you live with Mlungu. No, don't worry about that. That's my issue.
For me, I don't agree. You had the gentleman from Arise sitting here.
Mpotakada.
Yes, Mpota. Yeah. And he told you his beautiful story about how he built himself up and how he was able to start a cleaning company at a university in South Africa and then make enough money to start getting into Bitcoin. And that turned him into the multimillionaire that he has become.
Yeah.
That story would have never been told in any other country that did not have some form of BEE and some form of policy of redress. Wouldn't have happened. It never happened in Zambia. Never even happened in Zimbabwe, which was very radical because Zimbabwe did not start with an automatic black empowerment policy when it got independence. You guys started like that. And you built a black middle class. Some of the people that are bitter today about what has happened with their differences with the ANC, and some of them, I talk to them every day. They got fired from some of the parastatals. We speak. And I tell them that you have a nerve to tell me that the ANC has a problem when you are sitting in a multi-million rand home where you bought it. You have been receiving bonuses of multi-million rands ever since you left university because of the BEE policies that this government has. Something I've also said to Dalimpofu. Dalimpofu is a beneficiary of BEE. I don't necessarily think he's the best advocate. I don't necessarily like his arguments. I don't think he's as sharp as they make it out to be. But look at how privileged Dali is. Look at how he gets briefed consistently again and again. It is because of BEE that Dali is where he is, but he will not accept that. Julius Malema was a beneficiary of corruption within the ANC when they were in the Youth League. These guys became multi-millionaires in the ANC Youth League because they were able to get tenders. They were able to get to make sure that this person gets a tender. And after they do that, they were able to get kickbacks. They never struggled with money, these guys. Even though they were not so educated, they didn't have good jobs, but they had money. Does Floyd know what struggling is ever since he left university? I don't think so. That is BEE and its benefits. That is the benefit of the very same system people are demonizing now, only because it's not going as well as it used to be. But till today, they're construction companies, billionaires, black billionaires. South Africa is the most black billionaires on the African continent. Yet when you guys got independent, you had some of the poorest black people on the continent. How did that happen?
I didn't know that. I would have assumed Nigeria, but please continue.
Oh, no. You guys have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, of the 44,000 US dollar millionaires in the world, in Africa, in South Africa,
Yeah.
I think 19,000 of those are black. And they are coming from sectors, they're not coming from the taxi industry. They're coming from sectors like construction, IT. They're coming from marketing. They are leading marketing agencies in this country that are black owned. All that was because of the policies of BEE. So it didn't just benefit the Ramaphosa's.
Sure.
In fact, there are people who became richer than Ramaphosa who were not known because of BEE.